Howdy there. So a couple days ago, I watched Antichrist. That's the Blu-ray right there. Kind of spooky looking. As it should be. This film was produced, written, and directed by Lars von Trier. Stars Willem Dafoe and Charlotte Gainsbourg. I believe that's how you say her name. I think those are the only two people in it. I mean, they have a child, but I don't think he ever has any lines. I'm trying to remember if anyone else had any lines. But it's a movie starring two people for about an hour and a half. It starts out as an examination of a relationship faced with extreme tragedy, and it unravels into a horrific nightmare. I think that's pretty fair to say. I'm giving it a 6. I feel that 6 is mostly due to the outstanding technical aspects of this film. If it weren't so beautiful, I could probably easily give the content a 4. It is a gorgeous looking film. And if you ever see this film more than once, it will probably be because of its beauty. Incredibly well directed, well shot. I'm not sure who the cinematographer was, but that's amazing. The special effects are amazing. Technically, a very good film. But the content is not for the weak of heart or stomach. Willem Dafoe's great. All the acting, well, the two performances that carry the film, that the film is centered on, are very good. I mean, you have two excellent actors acting excellently. So, that's good stuff. The writing, well, I mean, the whole film is very allegorical, very symbolic. You could easily watch this film 2 or 3 times and get something new out of it. I mean, there's a lot going on visually and subcontextually, is that a word? There's a lot of subtext in this film. But I doubt, highly doubt, that you would ever want to see this film more than once. It's very hardcore. It's very hardcore, and again, it doesn't really reveal itself to be a horror film, and to call it a horror film, I mean, I guess it would fit into the genre, but it's not like any horror film you've seen. I found this to be far more disturbing than the Human Centipede first sequence. I think you really can't put them right next to each other. Human Centipede is far more straightforward. But it's also far more fun. Where the last 2 minutes of Human Centipede make you feel like you want to die. I'd say that I felt like wanting to die for the last third of this film, maybe even last half. So again, not for the weak of heart. Perhaps with the title of Antichrist, you know, you could get a little feeling for that. One thing that surprised me, and one thing that just I find unsettling, is it seems to be a strong condemnation of women. And possibly just people in general. A condemnation of humankind. The human condition. For half the film, maybe more, you think, and I'm trying not to give anything away here, you think that Willem Dafoe is the character that perhaps is not so good. But, again, there's only two characters in this film. It's slowly revealed, and then all of a sudden, suddenly revealed, that maybe you shouldn't be so hard on Willem Dafoe. And it seems to be very anti-woman. That's what I took from it. Again, this is a very symbolic film. Lots of imagery, lots of allegory. You could probably, again, watch it 2 or 3 times and still maybe feel that there's something more there to discover. I mean, this is a very deep film. I think. But the condemnation of women, one, you don't see too much. And two, for it to be this blatant is kind of, wow, ballsy. The film has balls the size of truck tires. Seriously, super ballsy film. I mean, I could almost recommend that you watch it for that alone. And it is gorgeous. It is gorgeous, and the special effects are very eerie, creepy, and excellent. The whole film is uber atmospheric. Again, on a technical level, excellently executed. It's the content for me that brings it down a bit. There's some very shocking things. If you like extreme film, if you said, all right, Human Centipede, I must see that, then I will recommend Antichrist to you. That you should see Antichrist for pure shock value. I could not watch one of the scenes. I had no problems watching all of Human Centipede. I could not watch some of this film. I hid my eyes. I did this. And I don't mind telling you. I had to. Probably because the last third, I'm just going to say 2 words. Genital mutilation. Alright? That's all you need to know. If you can watch genital mutilation without cringing or hiding your eyes, then my God, I give it up to you. Because I cannot. So you will see things that maybe you do not want to see. There's a lot of nudity in this film. And I mean a lot of nudity. The film opens with extreme nudity. Both actors are nude very often. And I don't know. I don't know if they had sex, but I know 2 people had sex. And I know that Lars von Trier filmed it quite beautifully. But I don't see how they could have simulated it. So that was very, different. You don't see that every day in a studio film, or a mass-marketed film, at least. Well, that's not true. Porn's mass-marketed. Anyway, you don't see it every day. Beautifully filmed pornography, that is. But to call it pornography, I wouldn't. This film's really heavy. The film's really heavy. Deals with 2 people losing their child. Infant son, maybe 2 years old. Can bear, has just learned to walk and explore. Dies. And it's them coping with that. In a way, it reminded me a lot of Blue Valentine. A very intense, heavy drama about the dissolving of a relationship. And maybe not dissolving for Blue Valentine. This was like Blue Valentine on acid. And a bad acid trip at that. But if you're into the horror, if you're into that extreme cinema, if you love Willem Dafoe, then you need to see this. You'll get what you want out of it. It's very disturbing. It's very shocking. Yeah, I was more disturbed by this than Human Centipede. Again, I'll give it a 6. You know, I think a 6 is fair. I don't think I'll ever watch this movie again. And I would only recommend this film to a small, select group of people. But I think, again, the technical aspects, the execution of mood and tone, worth mentioning. But, man, is it a sit? And is it sometimes a chore? Yes. So there. Again, I'm glad I watched it, because I wanted to see it. I kind of wanted to see it in the theater. But even though I think I kind of would have rather watched this with a group of people instead of alone. Again, I'm glad I watched it. And Lars von Trier is a singular artist. You know, he makes films that he's passionate about, so I have to respect that. But again, I don't think I'll ever watch this movie again. But I knew that I had to watch it. So, you know, there you go. So I think I'll give it a 6. It did look gorgeous. Some of it is in black and white. The black and white looked beautiful. I mean, again, the film looks beautiful. Again, that's the Blu-ray there. It's a Criterion collection. So Criterion only usually does the best or the most independent of films. So again, it's a 6, you know. If what I've described makes you want to see it, then see it. But if you're normal, you probably should avoid it, you know. Again, genital mutilation. That's all I'll say. So that's Antichrist. It's a 6. Thanks for watching.